after doing it live at the Alberta Technology Symposium. What a great event we had last week. 360 of our best friends, great tech leaders. Thank you, Minister Schweitzer and Minister Gilbreth, for coming out and sharing your knowledge and your outlook for how the government is going to be helping us moving forward. The videos, panel discussions, fireside chats, those will all be up hopefully by the end of the week. You can check them out at the Canadian Blockchain YouTube channel. I'll post that up in a little bit. But I'd also like to thank Startup TNT for sponsoring this. Our next summit is starting in a couple weeks. Applications end today. Of course, we're all heading to Unite the Prairies in Saskatoon next week. But before then, we are going to talk ZS2 with Scott Jenkins. Scott, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Jade. Looking forward to our chat this morning.
Oh, I'm always looking forward to our chats. I'm always inspired after our chats, especially since you won the clean tech about, I guess it's about almost a year and 3 months ago, around that time frame.
It's crazy. Like you just mentioned, Startup TNT and some of the information from, you attending the Alberta Tech Symposium last week. I saw it's not just the two ministers you mentioned. There's a lot of government officials that were sending out shout outs to you guys. But we're a graduate of the Startup TNT program, and we were the successful winner just over a year ago. That's right.
Yeah, and that's and you crushed it.
Well, you know what? It's interesting about Startup TNT, and obviously, we can chat a little bit about today and for all the new cohort of companies that are going to be competing for the process. The whole process just opened so many doors for us. And it's really, I know we're going to talk a little bit about today, but Dr. Doug Brown, my co-founder, along with Kristen Davis, the three of us, we think back, it got really going, the acceleration in ZS2 because of Startup TNT.
And it's so good. I mean, we can talk about that now because I see it all the time. I hear this all the time. And right now, I mean, we had almost 40 companies apply in the Calgary area alone. And I believe we're up to almost 30 in Edmonton, and we're at 27 in Saskatchewan. And because it does, people are knowing what it does to kick off. Even if you don't get an investment, it starts the kickoff of your fundraiser.
Yeah. Well, like one thing, and for those folks, listening today, if there's any of the companies that are joining the program and the competition, obviously as an alumnus, we'd be more than happy to share our experience, which has been amazing. But I was thinking about it, and the Startup TNT, because it brings so many folks from Alberta, Saskatchewan, even British Columbia together to meet some of these companies they may not have heard of, that so many light bulbs go on. So after our first pitch and intro session with Startup TNT, we got a whole bunch of folks reach out to us, and that led for us to being invited to be part of Foresight, the Clean Tech Accelerator, which is doing, by the way, Jeanette Jackson, CEO of Foresight, doing an amazing job in Western Canada and Canada-wide for aspiring technology companies and helping them grow. And then some of the investors, when we won the Startup TNT conversation, most importantly to me, building a business, they've become our clients. It's turned into actual revenue, top line revenue, and projects for us. We're a technology company. We're developing new technology, and I know we'll talk a little bit about that today. Yeah. But at the same time, we're growing rapidly the top line. Like, we're a real business generating cash flow. So Startup TNT was really helpful there as well.
No, and I love hearing that, right? And I see it, and obviously thank you for the kind words. And obviously, I mean, you saw the benefit in it. We know this happens, and it's priceless. And well, then let's talk about, that goes right into our next question, or our first question of, when you came in, you didn't, no one knew what ZS2 was. We had a meeting a little bit with you and Scott and Dr. Brown. Explained to me what it was, and then you just kept rising and rising and rising up the TNT. So why don't you share how you came out of your career in harnessing science and technology to build a better world and come up with the ZS2 idea?
So I'll try not to make this too long-winded. So my background, has always been with technology companies in infrastructure, construction, manufacturing. So trying to find innovative ways. So started my career after university. I started actually at KPMG, so good finance background, and then was involved with Pure Technologies early on, worldwide leader in infrastructure monitoring, large pipelines, concrete pipelines, cement pipelines. You'll see kind of the synergies here as I start talking about Pure. Post-tension buildings, cable-stayed bridges, and Pure, amazing company. And I had some amazing mentors there, Jamie Paulson, Peter Paulson, just an amazing cohort of colleagues. And I was a young guy and learned a lot from them as I grew and became an executive of that company. And I left Pure learning a lot and joined a small Calgary startup at the time, run by a gentleman by the name of Mogan Smed, called Dirt Environmental Solutions in 2006. And it was chaos, and we were raising money a bit. And Mogan's had done it before, and it was all about prefab manufacturing for interior construction. So saving materials, labor, giving our clients cost certainty, and building them a beautiful product. But what I learned a lot at Dirt was all about sales and distribution and North American distribution channels, and how you can really turbocharge the top line of your business and growth by having strategic partners, especially in construction, that are local. And so I departed Dirt in the end of 2017 after leading the successful IPO on the TSX. Great team of folks, and I'll give a shout out to many of our ZS2 team members who also have Dirt in their past pedigree. And I met a gentleman by the name of Dr. Doug Brown. And Doug's background is carbon engineering and direct air capture of CO2. He had done his PhD on solar panel technologies. He's always had a passion for sustainable energy creation, but also reducing greenhouse gases and finding commercial products or processes that could do that. And it was at Dirt that I had learned about magnesium oxide tiles, floor tiles for a raised floor system. And so Doug and I put our heads together, and really it was Kristen who kind of then smacked those two heads together as fast as she could. And she's freakishly strong. So you can imagine there was actually some tears, mostly for me. Doug's much tougher than I am. And said, look, guys, like, we're in the middle of a pandemic, or we're starting in a pandemic. We don't know what the world's going to look like. We should start our own company and focus on delivering sustainable, resilient, environmentally friendly, but prefab products for the construction industry that are safer. So we like to say safer, healthier, and more efficient for people and the planet. And that's really what's led us to build ZS2 to deliver building envelope. So we're like prefab solutions for the exterior of a building, but they provide higher fire resilience, resilience against mold, hurricanes, higher strength, but also similar, borrowing on the Dirt DNA a little bit, that it's cost certainty, speed, reduce labor, give people an economic benefit to the project as well. So sorry, that was very long-winded, but that's sort of how we're a COVID baby. ZS2 was created, as the pandemic was raging, and helped us keep SG&A costs down. We didn't need an office for a year.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially when you're raising, that always helps.
Yeah.
Well, I think the timing was right. I mean, you look at what's going on in the world, the fires, the fire in Fort McMurray, the fires in California, the hurricanes, all the things that come on. I mean, I think it's just a perfect time for a solution that looks after the world, but also protects the people that are supposed to look after the world.
You mentioned really quick there, and all of that. And actually, I'm saving some news to share with you, Jade, as the first, and your listeners, which I'll get to in a second as well, when talking about wildfires. So obviously in the United States and Canada, this is an issue, and it's probably going to grow in prominence. It's unfortunate. Climate change is real. We have to address it in a meaningful way. I was in Northern California about 4 weeks ago with one of our newest tech partners, our distribution partners, DH Construction. So I want to give them a shout out. Amazing construction company who is really shifting their entire business. They've been in construction for 30 years, have an experienced team, and they're shifting towards more resilient, fire resilient housing options in Northern California and around the Bay Area, largely around what's called WUI certification. Wildland urban interface, and the requirements of the insurance companies that if you're building homes in these areas prone to wildfires, you have to demonstrate higher fire resiliency. But the other thing that that our clients, and I met with fire marshals, I met with city inspectors, the excitement level for our type of product, they want to just help us, demonstrate the product. We're working on a large subdivision project down there now, is also about energy efficiency with insulated panels, so our tech panels, because their heating and cooling costs, mostly cooling, air conditioning, their energy costs, electricity costs are through the roof. So we can provide our clients with, significant savings there. So the second thing is the big announcement as of Friday. We have been selected to be part of the Kanaka First Nation Resiliency Challenge Consortium to help Kanaka rebuild the residences that burned to the ground during the tragic fires in Lytton, BC last summer in British Columbia. So we have some upcoming calls. I was having a chat with the Melanie Ross, huge supporter of ZS2, at SAIT yesterday. So there'll be some exciting announcements with that. I think there'll be ceremonial groundbreaking here in late May. But so you're the first to know, Jade, and anybody else who's listening. So, thanks, Mom. Thanks to my cousin, the two listeners on my side.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I never know how many people are listening until later. That's one thing that sucked about COVID. I thought my numbers would go up. They did go up in general, but what they do now is they don't watch it live. They just, I can watch everything later on a webinar type thing.
It's all recorded. That's right.
I mean, and that's great news. And thank you for sharing that here first. And obviously you had some more great news in the last week. Obviously with the Musk Foundation. Why don't you explain that? Because you'll do a much better job than I will.
So this really credit to Dr. Doug, as we call him around here. To Doug and his R&D team, which is growing. We're fortunate. We've got 3 PhD chemists that work with ZS2. Amazing team. So this is really revolving around taking direct air capture, CO2, greenhouse gases, could be other gases, and using the technology that we've developed into a commercialized product, which we've developed. So this is the largest X Prize in history. It's for $100 million US, being funded by Elon Musk and the Musk Foundation. The X Prize Carbon Removal Challenge. It was announced on Earth Day last year, so 2021. It's a 4-year competition. So they accepted 1,133 companies worldwide to be part of the program. So they vetted, I don't know how many companies applied or student-led groups, thousands maybe, but 1,133 were accepted into the program. We have moved through the program. They've vetted our science, our technology. We had to have third-party validation from a scientist that they nominated. That was done a couple months ago with flying success. And so last week, we were announced as a top 60 milestone finalist in the X Prize, one of only 7 Canadian companies to receive this distinction. And so then on Earth Day, they announced 15 companies to get an initial $15 million seed amount, $1 million each. We weren't one of the 15 at this stage, but we are top 60. We're part of the X Prize. The competition runs till Earth Day 2025. So we're in the running, developing our technology, and we have to demonstrate the ability to capture 3,000 tons of CO2. Sorry, I'm getting that wrong. Over 1,000 tons, a smaller amount of CO2 direct air capture in a commercialized product. Our phase 1 commercial plant expansion, which we're launching next month, will collect 3,000 tons. So 3 times was required to demonstrate the X Prize in 3 years, and we hope to have that operational in the next year. So obviously our phones were ringing off the hook. We're still getting a lot of great PR and press from it. Some of the companies that are part of the X Prize, it is amazing what some of these companies are doing. We looked at some of them very different than us, different industries, different. It's really cool to see what's being done around the world right now.
And kudos to you. And I mean, that's so impressive. And even to be, I look at it as thinking 7 in the top 60 in Canada is astronomical number like that. Considering it's around the world, right?
Around the world. And, if anybody's interested at all, just, go to the X Prize website, Carbon Removal Challenge, and they've got a map. They've got you can search on ZS2. We're listed there as a milestone finalist. There's a little blurb on us on the X Prize Musk Foundation website. But it's really neat to look at some of the other